AKAKU, a Como-minded curtain call, a weekly program of reviews, previews, interviews, and features of and or with the great art and artists on Maui and beyond. I'm Paul James Brown. It's time to look back on the best of the youth theater in 2025. Unfortunately, due to travel, I missed both Seabury's musicals, Newsies Jr. and Once Upon a One More Time. So those shows, which I am sure were great, cannot be included. My apologies. First, let's look back at the dramas and comedies. We begin with King Kekalike's Period 2 Advanced and Intermediate Acting Class production of Sherlock Holmes. In March, Seabury Performing Arts did Stoppard Square, The Real Inspector Hound, and The 15-Minute Hamlet. At the end of March, we got Act with Aloha's original Key to Nowhere. Roots School gave us The Cyclops Gate in May. In September, the Maui On Stage Education and Youth Program did another original play, Bringing Down the House. In October, Pro Arts and Maui On Stage's Youth Theater Education Program did Stinky Cheese Man and Other Stupid Tales. And finally, in November, King Kekalike Drama presented William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. The Standing Ovation Award for Best Performances in Leading Roles go to Wolf Pell and Turner Alston for their work in The Real Inspector Hound, and Ethan Bisa and Lillian Hagler as Romeo and Juliet. In The Real Inspector Hound, I said, as the critics Wolf Pell and Turner Ashton satirized their well-known bombast, pretentiousness, and over-intellectualization with the precision of a surgeon, their conversation during the performance was both funny and enlightening. When they became unwitting players, it was done brilliantly. And about Master Bisa and Ms. Hagler's star-crossed lovers, no adult should ever play Romeo or Juliet. These characters are teenagers, and their behavior when played by adults is silly, but as teenagers, it is fully comprehensible. Master Bisa and Ms. Hagler hit every note. These lines that we all know so well were given with new energy and truthfulness. The passion they had for each other was fully realized, and the desperation of their acts totally understandable. This was outstanding work. For Best Supporting Work in a Youth Play or Drama, Ruby Kingdon's Carly, in the original play by Todd Willinger, Bringing Down the House, gets the award. Her Carly was a perfect, ambitious auditioner, and her mugging was hilarious. Both her physical work and projection were perfect. This young lady has range and talent. She is joined by Kailea Whitmer's Rumpelstiltskin and Stinky Cheese Man. As Rumpelstiltskin, she found the inability to identify and say the name correctly by one and all was a source of frustration. And then, as the Stinky Cheese Man, she played with enthusiasm and panache. It was such a fun character. We have a few special Standing Ovation Awards this year. Tina Kailaponi, Jessica Nelson, and Frances Tawa share the Director of the Year Standing Ovation Award for their work with the Maui On Stage Youth Theater Education Program. Ms. Kailaponi and Ms. Nelson have done a superb job with these young people. Overall, everyone did stellar work on this huge production. Maui On Stage has built an exceptional theater training center for our young people. This program continues to grow and produce quality youth theater. Ms. Kailaponi and Mr. Tawa should take a curtain call and receive a standing ovation for a job well done. A special Standing Ovation Award goes to Aviva Mizell and Turner Alston for their singular achievement of writing, producing, and directing an original play, The Key to Nowhere. These two conscientious creatives have named their company Act with Aloha. I cannot think of a more appropriate moniker. This was a fine piece of work they can be proud of. They brought together a cast of 17 with support of 25 youth and adults over a 6-week period, including faculty, family, and staff, and saw their voice and dreams come to reality. The Standing Ovation Award for Best Performances in a Musical goes to Miley Libinati as Mary Poppins in Baldwin High School Performing Arts Learning Center and Baldwin Theater Guild's Mary Poppins, and Ethan Bisa for his Fagin in King Kekalike Drama's Oliver. about Miley Libinati is Mary Poppins. Her posture, attitude, command, strict disciplinarian while genuinely caring and loving Jane and Michael were pure perfection. She handled the singing effortlessly and with excellence, and her dancing, especially in Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and Step in Time, in those high-heeled boots, was breathtaking. One of the concluding songs in the show is Anything Can Happen If You Let It. I have no doubt Ms. Libinati is capable of realizing those prophetic words fully and completely. She is very special. As for Master Bice's performance, the Fagin who is likable, despite his obvious criminality and exploitation of his gang, when he sings You've Got to Pick a Pocket or Two, it's almost Robin Hood-esque. But his reviewing the situation is a tour de force performance that shines as among the best things in this outstanding show. This is a huge tune, with the most complicated in the entire show. It has 461 words. Hamlet's famous soliloquy, To Be or Not to Be, has 269. And like Hamlet, it required him to question everything he has ever done and decide whether another path is a better one for him. It was a show-stopping performance. For Best Supporting Performances, we have Keave Villanueva's Bill Sikes in Oliver and Lila Alvarez's Jane in Mary Poppins. As for Bill Sikes, Keave Villanueva is the best actor in the show. He created a truly scary, intimidating, and real character. His gravelly voice was perfect for this part. His physical presence was constantly ominous. His big number, My Name, in Act 2, was done with menace and murder. Lila Alvarez's Jane was spunky, bratty, sharp, and fun. She is another among the plethora of very good singers musical director Tana Larson brought to the stage. The top musical goes to Oliver because of not only the singing and dancing, but also because of the outstanding dialect work and, of course, Casey Nagata did such a great job on the music for this show. The singing, especially the ensemble, was marvelous, but the orchestral accompaniment to the songs, particularly Vanya Jerome's keyboard, added an element so many shows are not doing any longer, opting for tracks instead. If King Kekalike Drama's production of Lionel Bart's Oliver were a dinner, I would say it broke them out. From start to finish, this retelling of the trials, tribulations, and travails of Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist is as delicious as a 5-course prefix feast at Nilo's. I also want to recognize the outstanding ensemble in the musical award goes to Maui On Stage Youth Theater Program's Night at Dawn. These talented, hardworking, dedicated young people ages 6 to 15 killed it. There were 37 of them, and every one of them did great. There was not a weak link in this incredible chain of actors, singers, and dancers. Best choreography goes to Kathleen Schills for Mary Poppins. Kathleen Schills had the job to make non-dancers look like a Broadway company, and she achieved in the huge numbers by giving them simple movements. They could perform perfectly, and then when she got to the duet in Jolly Holiday, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and Step in Time, she pulled out all the stops and demonstrated the skill, grace, and athleticism this ensemble and cast were capable of. Ms. Schultz also gets the costume award for Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins looked like she was in the Broadway show. Jane's and Winifred's outfits were pure vintage, and the ensemble looked terrific. This was not just a well-acted, danced, and sung show, but it looked great. Excellent work by everyone involved. Best Director in a Youth Musical is shared by Chris Kepler and Casey Nagata. Mr. Kepler and Mr. Nagata continue to mount excellent work that inspires these young people and gives them lifelong memories and friendships. Whether they choose to pursue a life in the theater or not is not the point. They have had an opportunity to create and present work that will live on in the hearts of everyone associated with the work, students, staff, and community. It doesn't get any better than that. Well, that's Curtain Call for this week. Mahalo nui loa for tuning in. I'm Paul James Brown. Next week, I'll have the Adult Standing Ovation Awards. Ha'oli makahiki ho. Maui strong. Ahui ho.